Day 26 is obviously breaking up with my phone because it has too much power over me. I feel like a lot of people probably feel this way. I feel like I constantly see this on the internet of people being like, I want to stop scrolling so much. I want to not be on my phone as often. And maybe it's because that's what I want to do, and so that's what I'm seeing. But I am now taking active steps in order to train myself to be off my phone. One thing I want to say, just to start this conversation off, is that I started this thought process with being like, well, of course, I'll just put my phone in a box and I'll never look at it ever again. And I'll delete all my social medias and it will be done. Great. No problem. But then I started thinking about it and I was like, well, then there's never going to be a world where I'm not going to have a phone on me really anymore that I foresee. Like, I know people do that, but I just don't foresee myself having a life that I feel like I could do that. And there's never going to be a world where I'm not going to have to interact with social media, I don't think. So at this point, that's not a realistic world that I live in. It could be in the future, but right now, that's not the world that I live in. So my thought was, if I just put my phone in a box and never look at it again and delete all my social medias and yada, 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 then I'm not really addressing the issue here. I'm just putting it away on a shelf. You know what I mean? Like, the issue is that I can't seem to control myself when I get on the social media apps, and that I turn to my phone for entertainment, for validation, for wasting time, for whatever it may be. I turn to my phone for all these different things and like immediate knowledge, immediate information, and whatever it may be, when really I love having that stuff, but I want it to be that I can have my phone and I can use it, but it doesn't control my life. So I just started thinking about, like, how do I train myself to use my phone in this new appropriate manner for what I would consider for myself to be appropriate. So I thought of it like, you know what? I want to get a dog. Or I'm going to get a dog. So why don't I just try to train myself like a dog? You know? I don't know. So this is my thought process. I've already started doing this and I already have found it, guess what? Helpful! Because our brain is something we can train. Okay, so these are 4 methods that people normally use when they're training a dog. So I decided to turn these into things that I can use to train myself in regards to my relationship with my phone. So let's start with the first one. The first one is quiet, the quiet command. So this one I've kind of already started, which I said in previous videos, which is taking a deep breath before I open any social media app. So essentially, like, quiet your brain. Why are you doing this? Like, giving yourself the one extra second that you need to reevaluate, is this something that I want to do? Number 2, this one I feel like people are going to love, the treat/reward system. So this one, you could do like a variety of ways. So obviously the biggest one that I could think of was like, oh, I don't know, eat like a piece of chocolate every time I don't use my phone or whatever it may be. So this one is kind of interesting because it would require you to set phone-free goals and then treat yourself accordingly. So I kind of want to use this as a way to tackle that initial reaction of wanting to grab my phone. Kind of very similar to the quiet command, in that one would be like taking a deep breath as soon as you feel that urge to like open the social media app. But this one instead would be, or I guess in addition to, would be once I have that sensation of wanting to grab my phone for whatever reason, maybe it's to Venmo my roommate, or maybe it's to look up that fact, or like whatever it may be, answer that text message, whatever. Using that treat/reward system to, instead of doing that immediate reaction, write it down what I want to do, look up this thing, text back this person, Venmo my roommate, whatever it may be, write it down, set a timer, or no, like if it's before noon and I don't like to go on my phone before noon, then okay, once it becomes noon, then I will do this thing. Then I can do the thing on my phone. And the reward that I'm going to give myself is one of the things that I've been realizing lately is that I haven't been really loving my music selection at the moment because I haven't really been looking for new songs. So giving myself the opportunity to listen to one new song. I know that seems weird, but I don't want it to be a food thing. I feel like I have such a weird thing about food. I don't want to like add even more like treat, reward, punishment element to food than I already have. So we're gonna do music. Love it. Number 3 is sit and stay. So this one I actually really enjoy, and this is one that I just started practicing today, which is leaving my phone in a designated spot, and it does not get to leave that spot. So anytime that I want to use my phone, it has to be in this location, and it never gets to travel with me anywhere else. That's a big one. That's so big. So at first I was thinking about putting this location in my bathroom, because then I would have to stand every time I wanted to use the phone. But then I thought, I don't really want to keep my phone in my bathroom. But so that's an idea if anyone wants to use that. What I'm doing is I'm leaving my phone on the charger right on my desk. So it's like tucked in the corner, so it's not easily grabbable, but it is a designated spot where it doesn't get to go downstairs into the kitchen with me. It doesn't get to go into the car with me when I go to the grocery store. It doesn't get to go with me any other location than right here. Granted, I do think that I'm going to make an exception for 2 things. 1, when I go to the gym and I want to listen to my music, that's the exception. 2, when I go on my long walks at the beach and want to listen to my podcast, because those 2 situations, I'm not actively scrolling on my phone, I'm not looking at things, I am simply using this as merely like an iPod Nano. So those are my 2 exceptions. Otherwise, that phone stays right there, baby. I've been doing this today, and it is crazy, like, how much my body is like, oh, just grab your phone. Just grab your phone. Just grab your phone. Bring it with you downstairs. Just grab it. You need a timer or whatever. No. I can set a timer on the oven or the microwave. I can simply go downstairs without my phone. I can go drive to the store without my phone. I don't need it. Millions of people have gone through life without a cell phone in their pocket, and they have done peachy keen just fine. Just fine. So I can be fine too. So, and I know that might freak some people out. My boyfriend and I did a trip last year this time, actually, where we drove to like 4 different states without having our cell phones at all. We had paper maps. I brought this camera and took photos with this camera, and I had printed out like map request forms of like where our campsites were going to be, and it was such a wonderful experience. And it's so funny that when we were telling people that we were going to do this, like even our parents, my parents, who grew up in a time period where they didn't have cell phones, were like, you can't do that. You have to bring your phone. What do you mean? Just bring your phone on. You don't even have to turn it on. Just leave it in the car. And I was like, you didn't have a phone for the majority of your life, and you're freaked out. What the heck? And so maybe I'm being a little silly, but I don't know. I think that we should get accustomed to not having our phone on us at all times anymore. But anyway, so that sit and stay command is number 3. And number four, this one is super fun, is an obstacle course. So I thought this would be really fun because it's kind of like earn the phone kind of thing, and also might be a slight deterrent from using my phone, which is I have a pull-up bar, obviously. So my obstacle course will be doing 5 pull-ups before I'm allowed to use my phone. So my thought is that I will do 5 pull-ups every time that I want to use my phone. And it will be kind of like my payment. And yes, I can do 5 pull-ups. I can do more than 5 pull-ups. You heard it here first, folks. But yeah, so just to review, number 1 was the quiet command, taking a deep breath every time that I feel the urge to open up social media. Number 2, the treat and reward system. So that will be rewarding myself with listening to new songs, or listening to one new song, trying to find a new song, whenever I successfully go through a phone-free period. And number 3 will be a sit and stay command, being my phone will sit in one location and stay in that location. And anytime I want to use my phone, it will have to be in that location. And number 4, the obstacle course. I will have to do 5 pull-ups every time I want to use my phone. So yeah, these are the things that I'm doing to train myself to not be controlled by my phone, but instead recognize that it is a tool that I can use, because it's all happening for us, not to us. But yeah, so these are things that I'm practicing this week. I think that it will be extremely helpful in honestly, still working on this disciplined willpower aspect that I'm working on. And I do think that so far I've been doing a really great job with continuing a routine. And I just think that as I've been going about it, it just is getting easier and easier and easier. And update, I'm doing all my patches, my habit tracker patches, and they are turning out fantastic. Who would have thought? Not me. I mean, yes, me. I knew I could do it. But yeah, so I have so many of them so far. I've been doing it 2, 4, 6, 7 days now. So this poncho is going to be coming in no time. But yeah, so I think that this is going to be a really good thing for me already. I've been utilizing some of these training methods, and I think they've been extremely helpful for me. So yeah. That's it. That's how I'm training myself to not be on my phone as much. Yay! Okay, so that was day 26. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to subscribe, you're more than welcome to. No one's stopping you. And I will be back shortly with day 27. Okay, well, toodles!